Hello everybody. Bear with me for a second here while I get organized and combobulated. So today we are going to, hang on one second here, there we go. We are going to set up the Oculus Elite strap, the Quest 2 Elite strap. And this is for the Oculus Quest 2, obviously. And one second here. Okay, so what we're going to do is get this thing set up in a minute, and we're going to put this on the Extras channel. And so I am going to get my Quest headset here out of the box and get that going. I got this nice carrying case the other day. I think we covered this on another stream that we did recently. And let's get that going. Okay, so we got that out. So what's going to happen here is that we are going to detach this strap and put in the other one. I'm guessing it just snaps out, so we'll figure out how this comes out in a minute. I don't want to break it either. I'm sure there'll be instructions. Because this feels really, this is the existing strap, so this replaces the entire thing here. I'm just trying to figure out, I'm sure the instructions will give me some indicator as to how exactly that comes together like that, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so this is the Quest 2. I've been very happy with this. In fact, I've been using this. I don't have as much time as I would like to for playing VR games, but I am very happy with the Quest 2. I think it's an awesome platform. So I'm going to do a quick intro, I think, because this again is going to be an Extras channel video. So let me just make a new folder for Elite Strap. I'm going to just do a quick intro. And I'm going to kind of record the process here as we stream it out. That's how we're going to do it. And I got some people pop it into the chat. Not getting a lot of viewership today. It's kind of weird. Usually I get more in by this time. So we have Ed Brewer is here. And Romeric is here. Hello to you both. And B. Tabalba is here. At least the regulars are showing up. That's what matters to me, is that the regulars are here. So, all right. Well, let me get my intro recorded, and then we'll get into it. And what's nice about this is that it's a little easier to get this on the head of my children, especially my 7-year-old who likes to play tilt brush. That is her favorite thing. And I think it just uses a wheel in the back to tighten it. Yeah, so that's the objective here. And I guess you can get the Quest 2 with this already attached to it. So there you go. Okay. All right. So let me get moving on here. And yeah, we'll see. This may end up on the main channel too. We'll see what happens. Here's a question. Wait for the Quest 3 or go with the Quest 2? I would say it's going to be a while before a Quest 3. So I think for now, this is a really nice headset to get. It's more comfortable than the last one. It's lighter than the last one. You got the PC compatibility, you have the standalone compatibility. There's always going to be something better in the technology world. That's just how it goes, right? So I would say that if you're ready to buy one, just get it. And you can always sell it. Because the one thing with these things, they hold their value pretty well. Because it's such a unique product. There's not many like it. In fact, it's really the only headset that kind of gives you the best of both worlds. So that's my take on it. All right, let me start the recording here. Give me 1 second here. All right, getting some text messages and stuff. Okay, let me do the intro and then we'll get going. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and we're taking a look today at an accessory for the Oculus Quest 2. This is their Elite strap, which replaces the strap that came with my Quest 2. And some viewers were telling me that I should check it out because I have been having a hard time getting this one adjusted. I'm able to get it okay on my head, but then if I put it on my kid's head, I'm having a really hard time getting everything to work with my little ones. And this one's going to be a little bit simpler to get on my head and the heads of others that may want to try this thing. And I'm getting a lot of little blonde hairs from my daughter in the existing strap. So what we're going to do today is unbox this and see how it attaches to the Quest. We're going to take off the old strap and put on this new one. And I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, that I paid for the strap here with my own funds along with the headset. All of the opinions you're about to hear are my own. No one is paying for this review, nor is anyone reviewing or approving what you're about to see before it was uploaded. So let's get into it now and see what's inside this box and see how hard it is to get it on that headset. All right, I can live with that. And in case you're just tuning in, I sometimes record while I stream to kind of maximize the value here, right? So if I'm going to spend time streaming, may as well turn it into a video. So let's see how that came out, okay? 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and we're taking a look today at an accessory for the Oculus Quest 2. This is their Elite strap, which replaces the strap that came with my Quest 2. And some viewers were telling me that I should check it out because I have been having a hard time getting this one adjusted. I'm able to get it okay on my head, but then if I put it on my kid's head, I'm having a really hard time getting everything to work with my little ones. And this one's going to be a little bit simpler to get on my head and the heads of others that may want to try this thing. And I'm getting a lot of little blonde hairs from my daughter in the existing strap. So what we're going to do today is unbox this and see how it attaches to the Quest. We're going to take off the old strap and put on this new one. And I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, that I paid for the strap here with my own funds along with the headset. All of the opinions you're about to hear are my own. No one is paying for this review, nor is anyone reviewing or approving what you're about to see before it was uploaded. So let's get into it now and see what's inside this box and see how hard it is to get it on that headset. All right, I can live with that. Now, we're going to get moving here. You know, it's really funny because whenever I do one of these live streams with a specific product like this, I always get comments like this from Ed, which is that, like, hey, I was just looking at this. Isn't that weird? I think these algorithms are getting really crazily good at recommending things. Lewis is asking, is there a roadmap about Facebook and the Quest with game releases? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You know, there's a lot of indie development with these, in that a lot of the developers are smaller, and so the marketing budgets are not to the point where they can really hype up release dates and stuff. And Pravardin, yes, I sometimes do these. It depends on what's going on. Sometimes I have like there's some video shoots that work really well as a live stream because I'm able to get feedback from the viewers while I'm making it. Especially for products that I don't look at that often, it's good to have that immediate feedback to kind of improve things as I go. And usually it's something that has to be on Amazon, because this stream is also on Amazon at the same time it's on YouTube. So that's what I'm doing there. Yeah, but they're fun to do live like this. It takes me longer to shoot them because I'm always looking for feedback and chatting with everybody. Christopher Fitzgerald wants to know, I'm loving the Quest stuff. Can I ask what age your kids are? Is there a no-go age for VR? So my 4-year-old is probably a little too young, just because her little head really can't fit the headset very well. My 7-year-old is the one that does more with it. I don't think there's a no-go age. Let me look and see if they have any recommendations. I do know that there's some issues with eyes, like eyesight development. You know, technically it's 13 and up, but that's mostly because of the U.S. law here, the COPPA law. I would say, I'm just looking through here to see if there's any recommendations from yeah, you know, it's funny because they don't want kids using this just because of the COPPA issues. But, you know, like my 7-year-old doesn't spend that much time in it. I would say just be careful the kid's not spending too much time, especially as their eyes are developing, because I think there's something about the eye development that you need to be careful about. But I think for short-term stuff, I mean, I'm not a doctor. You may want to check with a pediatrician to see if there's any issues, but I think it's probably fine. My 7-year-old has glasses anyhow, so it's hard to say. Definitely wasn't caused by VR. And she loves Tilt Brush. That's the one that she plays with quite a bit. So that one is a lot of fun for kids. It's a three-dimensional painting app. It's really cool because you can paint and you can walk around in a scene and just paint over your head. It's just amazing. Tilt Brush. Google makes it. It's a really cool thing. All right. So we're going to do the unboxing now. 3, 2, 1. All right, so let's take this thing out of the box and see what we got here. It's kind of packaged as nicely as the Quest is. I got to figure out where the opening is for the box here. Here we go. And we'll open it up. Now remember, the headset is not in the box, just the strap. So this is what it looks like. And then what we need to do is figure out how to get the existing strap off. So they want you to remove with care. Follow the quick start guide. So we're going to put this stuff aside here. That's all that's in the box here, really. It's just it's actually a lot of room in that box for not a lot of stuff. There is a quick start guide here that we can go through, and I'm assuming this will kind of show us how to get everything put together. So the first thing we have to do is remove the facial interface, which is the pad here on the front. It's kind of an official name for something so simple. So we'll take that part off. Next we need to do is detach the soft strap. Starting from the back of the strap's plastic casing, pull outward and twist slightly to unsnap both side straps. So it looks like the fabric is separate. I'm not sure how that comes out. Oh, I see. Okay, so these snap, I see how this works now. So these snap in like so. So they just come off here. So you don't want to pull the fabric off. You want to pull the thing that the fabric is attached to. So let me do the other one on this side. So they just kind of come off like that. That's it. So this is a little bit easier than I thought it was going to be. And then what I've got to do is disconnect the Velcro here and then just pull this through. And that will separate it out. So now I just have a headset. And I'm guessing now it's going to be as easy as just attaching this portion here, like so. So we slide that under there, and I guess it's going to just snap right in. Yep, that's it. And we'll do it to the other side here. Try to get you a good angle of it. And it's got to go, I think it's got to go in front first. There we go. So that's it. Yeah, so the speakers are built into that plastic portion, so you're not swapping the speakers out. And then what it looks like we need to do is get this portion fed through this spot here. And this will continue to, I'm guessing, be adjustable because this is all Velcro. So it looks like you'll be doing the wheel here on the back and then the top portion here as well. So let me get the right orientation for the Velcro strap here and we'll finish this up. All right, there we go. So Andrew Ackerman on Amazon says he wants the $400 Oculus with the additional storage. Yeah, I got the inexpensive one primarily because I use the PC for a lot of my VR. I would say I'm probably 80% PC and 20% standalone. So I don't need all that much storage. The good news is that at the moment, the Oculus games don't take up that much storage space. So you can get away with the smaller one. But if you intend to do a lot of, I think I'm just reading through this real quick. If you intend to do a lot of standalone gaming, I would agree that the larger storage version is probably the way to go. Yeah, so it goes in like that. Okay. So this comes up through, yeah. So it's going to come up through that way. Give me 1 second here. This was actually simpler than I expected. Because as you all know, I am not very adept at this kind of thing. 3, 2, 1. Just going to watch this real quick. All right, so let's take this. And it's got to go, I think it's got to go in front first. There we go. So that's it. Yeah, so the speakers, guessing now it's going to be as easy as just attaching this portion here, like so. So we slide that under there, and I guess it's going to just snap right in. Yep, that's it. And we'll do it to the other side here. Try to get you a good angle of it. And it's got to go, I think it's got to go in front first. There we go. So that's it. Yeah, so the speakers are built into that plastic portion. So you're not swapping this. So I think I might get another angle of that shot because, so that was on the right-hand side. So I have the other camera here, and I just might want to show how that comes together. So let me just pull this out real quick. Try not to. This does not come off as easy as the other one does. Yeah, so I think I'm going to do it from this angle so people can see. Be a little bit easier because it goes in front first like that. Or it goes rear first. Let's see. Yeah. Actually, no, I think it goes this way. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just going to get in a little bit closer on that. Let's record a little B-roll just to have it. Because one of the things I want to be able to show people is exactly how it goes in. So we're just going to do a little break cutaway shot here of it. Oops. And I'll pull this out because be consistent here. Okay, so tell you, it's a little trickier. It's easy to do. It's just that you have to get it to catch the right way. So that's the tricky part here. So you have to get it over that hump there. There we go. Okay, so let's get it. Just going to get it from a different angle just so people can see it. Okay, just in case. All right, so now we're going to cut back to the overhead. And I want to say hello to some more people. Brian Parker is here. Hello, Mr. Parker. Oh, Mr. Parker with your super chats. Thank you very much, as usual. You are too generous. But thank you, Mr. Parker. I greatly appreciate it. We got to do something together. I don't know what, but why don't you think about it? I hope you're doing well. Aaron Johnson wants to know, is there a settings menu on the Quest to make sure that the VR settings are safe? And I'm assuming you mean like as far as the environment that you're in, or are you looking at something just for eye safety or something along those lines? Let me know. Mac Telecom Networks is here. Hello to you. And Bob here says, live videos are fun. Bob says, this is funny. So if I'm struggling, actually, it's quite the opposite. I am like the most mechanically disinclined person. So I struggle with simple tasks like this. So that's what that's all about. And Irving, yeah, I think it slides and snaps in. I think that's what it is. I just wanted to get it from a different angle. It wasn't hard though, because now it's in and it's pretty solid. And then what you do, it's got a nice click to it, doesn't it? So then you kind of adjust it that way. So I'm guessing this will be a lot easier because it's just one thing to adjust as opposed to the other, which is a lot more. All right, so now we're gonna pick it up from here. Let me get this stuff out of the way. Okay, so let's pick it up from this overhead shot, because I think that's where I left things before. All right. Three, two, one. All right, next step here is to get our Velcro strap positioned, and we're going to push that up through the little loop here. So it comes up like so, at least that's what the instructions tell me to do. And then that will attach itself to the top of the strap. And I guess when you put this on, you'll want to loosen this and then get it on the head, and then you tighten it up with this little dial here in the back. You can hear it clicking, so each time I move it, you can see it's getting closer to the front of the headset, and then if I release it here, it will go back out. So that's how that works. And I'm going to put this on my head, and let's see if this is a little bit easier to work with. So I'm sorry, I forgot to do one thing. We have to put the thing on here for the, oh, what did I do wrong here? Hang on a second. No, I totally screwed this up. Hang on. What did I do? Does this go on first or second? Let's see. So I pushed it up through that thing. Insert facial interface. So what did I do wrong here? Hang on a second. See, this is what I mean by like by the fact that I have a bad sense of mechanical whatever. Because if I put the facial interface back on here, it doesn't, so it needs to be in a different direction apparently. Hang on a second. And what's funny is they don't show you what the inside should look like in the instructions. So it shows you from this angle where you can't see where it's supposed to go. Attach Elite top strap. And then it says insert facial interface. So if I put this on first, so there's room in there, but not enough room. Let me see if there's enough room. Let me try that again. Let's have to pull it all the way through. So maybe it slides under. Oh yeah, okay. There's room in there. So it slides under, and then this goes. Yeah, okay. There we go. So it looks like that when it's done. So there's a little bit of space there. So I did have it correct. So we'll record that take again. Although it doesn't feel like it's, loosen the slack up on this a little bit. It's not snapping in as securely as it was before. Yeah, it's in there pretty good now. Okay. So that's how that works. Okay, let's try that again. Yeah, I was very excited to get this on my head to see how it's going to fit. So we got to redo that whole section there, but that's okay. That's how this happens when you do stuff live. All right, we'll pick it up from here. 3, 2, 1. All right, the next step now is to get the Velcro strap through the top of the headset here. And there is a loop that it goes through. So this is going to go in like so. And you can see it coming out the top there. And then this will be adjusted when I put this on my head. And now that we have that through, what we're going to do is attach the facial interface here. And there's enough room on the front of the facial interface to support the strap moving back and forth. It might be hard to see, but there's a little groove in there that will snap into place here. So let's get this situated. And this will snap back in. And one of the things I like about the Quest is how easy it is to remove this and replace it. So if you have multiple people coming over to use your headset, you can get replacements that just easily snap in and out. And you're pretty much good to go there. So that feels pretty good. So the next thing we're going to do is see how this fits on my head. And this will be a little bit easier to get on. So I would say probably what you want to do is keep this loose here at the top. And then when you put it on your head, you will tighten up the Velcro here, but also use this to tighten it up towards the back of the head. And as you can see here, they've got a much better, much more firm grip on the back of your head for a better positioning. And as you can see, it gets pretty small. So I think this could probably work with a kid as well, which is my intent with this. And I'll let you know how it does with my daughter when she gets home from school. So there you go. All right, so I'm going to move it all the way back out here. And what I'm going to do is now put it on my head. So I'm going to get my eyes aligned here. I'm going to tighten up the strap here, get it nice and tight. And now I'm just going to, yeah, that's actually pretty nice. And actually, this is good. This is a lot better than the other strap because there's only two things to adjust here, just this top part and the back part. And that's it. So you can get it on and off quicker. And I think it's going to be a lot quicker to get other people into this. And you can just take it off just by releasing the back there. So we'll do it again here. Yeah, it feels much tighter. I think that thing in the back of the head here, this makes a big difference. So that feels good. Good stuff. All right, let's see how that came out. All right, so let's take a look at how that worked. So we'll call this 3. All right, let's take a look at that. I don't even know if I have a charge in this thing. I don't think I've charged it, so I probably can't even try it out. Let's see. 3, 2, 1. All right, the next step now is to get the Velcro strap through the top of the headset here. And there is a loop that it goes through. So this is going to go in like so. And you can see it coming out the top there. And then this will be adjusted when I put this on my head. And now that we have that through, what we're going to do is attach the facial interface here. And there's enough room on the front of the facial interface to support the strap moving back and forth. It might be hard to see, but there's a little groove in there that will snap into place here. So let's get this situated. And this will snap back in. And one of the things I like about the Quest is how easy it is to remove this and replace it. So if you have multiple people coming over to use your headset, you can get replacements that just easily snap in and out. And you're pretty much good to go there. So that feels pretty good. So the next thing we're going to do is see how this fits on my head. And this will be a little bit easier to get on. So I would say probably what you want to do is keep this loose here at the top. And then when you put it on your head, you will tighten up the Velcro here, but also use this to tighten it up towards the back of the head. And as you can see here, they've got a much better, much more firm grip on the back of your head for a better positioning. And as you can see, it gets pretty small. So I think this could probably work with a kid as well, which is my intent with this. And I'll let you know how it does with my daughter when she gets home from school. So there you go. All right, so I'm going to move it all the way back out here. And what I'm going to do is now put it on my head. So I'm going to get my eyes aligned here. I'm going to tighten up the strap here, get it nice and tight. And now I'm just going to, yeah, that's actually pretty nice. And actually, this is good. This is a lot better than the other strap because there's only two things to adjust here, just this top part and the back part. And that's it. So you can get it on and off quicker. And I think it's going to be a lot quicker to get other people into this. And you can just take it off just by releasing the back there. So we'll do it again here. Yeah, it feels much tighter. I think that thing in the back of the head here, this makes a big difference. So that feels good. Good stuff. Oh, perfect. That came out good, better than I thought. You can see how much volume the bouffant on my head has. Okay. And hopefully you're all still there. Yes, some people get confused when I'm doing these things, by the way. So I am recording while I stream, and so you will see some repetition. And give me 1 second here. I just got to check an email. So I took a Hang on 1 second here. Okay, so I got my T cell tests back because I've been on this 1-year journey to figure out, like, was CES a source of the COVID-19 pandemic? And it was likely that it probably had some contributing factors to it. And there's a lot of us that came back sick. We've talked about this on the stream before. And so I got an antibody. I got 3 different antibody tests. One ELISA, one from a lab that was doing one of the other ones. Like a whole bunch of tests. And then all of those came back negative for antibodies. But I was so far out that I figured antibodies are probably not going to get picked up anyhow. So then I went and got last week a blood draw for a new type of test from a company called Adaptive Biotechnologies. And I guess today they just got approved by the FDA for emergency use certification. And it's we're going to talk about it on the wrap-up next week. It's a really fascinating technology because what they're doing is, rather than looking for antibodies, they are looking for your long-term immunity or immune memory with your T cells. And your T cells, of course, recognize pathogens. They attach to the pathogens and then activate other cells that produce antibodies and actually get the immune response going. So if you could figure out a way to get an idea as to whether or not you have a long-term immune memory of it, you could know better versus an antibody test if you had it. So they went out and did the test. And it was interesting because the process that they use is very clever. So T cell testing has been very difficult because in the past what they were looking for was a specific marker on a specific cell. And to find that cell out of the billions of combinations that you can have in your immune memory was very, very difficult. So what they did instead, this is really neat, what they did instead was they went out and got a bunch of blood samples from people that were confirmed to have had COVID-19. And so they built up a database of thousands of people. And what they did is they sequenced their T cells. Every single one that they could find, they sequenced it. And then they got a bunch of other people who had not had it, and then sequenced all their T cells. And then what they did is they excluded what they called public T cells. I guess there's things that we're all exposed to that are part of our immune system. So they took those things in common, tossed them out. And then they said, okay, so what does the COVID group have that the non-COVID group doesn't? So then they built a database. And then when they did future testing, they compared the people that got tested versus the COVID group. And if they had a lot of cells in common, a lot of things, same T cell memories in common, then the assumption could be that they must have had it or something similar. And apparently it was like 95% accurate against this group of people that they knew coming into the clinical study had it. Much more accurate than an antibody test was. And they're using an AI. And so what's neat about this is that rather than focus on that one spike protein reaction that you might have on your T cell mem rate or whatever, they don't care what the reaction is. All they know is that this group has this set of genetic markers in common on their T cells and other people don't, right? So no matter how your body reacted to it, it doesn't matter because you can pull out the cells that they have in common. Those same markers will be similar because they responded to the same virus. Really, really interesting stuff. So needless to say, I got tested, I was negative. so that was it. But it's not impossible that I didn't have it because it's been a year and a half now, or a year and 3 months. So it's possible that there's not enough of these T cells to get picked up, right? Or I didn't have it, one or the other. So we'll see what happens. But I am getting vaccinated. I plan to. My plan is to get one of the mRNA vaccines. And I'm going to get the Moderna or the Pfizer. That's what I'm going to go for. And I have to wait, though. So my state actually, I think, is doing it the right way, which is they are doing it just strictly, they were going to do all this complex stuff, and they said, you know what, just going to do it by age. So they started with 75 plus. They got down to 65 plus about 2 weeks ago. So my mother went in last week. I'm taking her in a week and a half to get her second booster. And then it goes, this is the kicker. So now we're down to 55. And the next group is 45, except I'm 44. So I got to wait till like probably the middle of April to get it. Although I think I am going to be getting it earlier just because I think they're moving through a lot quicker. So I would say probably by the end of the month. But I'm going to do the mRNA vaccine is what I'm going to get. Daniel Berry wants to know, is this a strap or did it have the extra battery? It does not have an extra battery. There is no extra battery for this. It is just the strap. That's all there is to it. But it's pretty simple. It fits good. Fits well. So I don't think they have a battery one, do they? I guess you could probably integrate something into it. Maybe have the battery on the top, plug it into the port there. I will tell you, though, having used this a lot, that my eyes are done before the battery is. So I'm usually pretty content just to be done with it at that point. But yeah, it looks pretty good. And actually sounds a little better. Let me turn the volume down. I don't know if the speakers are just positioned differently, or perhaps I wasn't wearing it the right way to begin with. But it's nice. It's so much more secure on my head. It's not flopping around at all. And it's got to adjust. The other thing you have to adjust on this is the IPD. So I usually keep mine in the middle here. But I'm going to try a different setting here. Let's try that. Yeah, that's not good. So let's go all the way in. Oops. You know, it's funny. The IPD that works better for me now is a different setting than before. It actually looks a lot cleaner all the way in. IPD is the interpupillary distance between your two pupils. Actually, gosh, this looks so much better. You know, what's funny is that, you know, with these headsets, fit is a big deal. And the image is just much crisper. My goodness. So I think what's nice about this is that in addition to it being simpler and more snug, I think it helps get it into the right position better. Because this looks a lot better. Yeah, this looks good. It is much, much better. So, yeah, and there's also, that clicking is pretty satisfying on it. It doesn't click on the way out. You can feel it kind of jumping through the different, the track that it's got. But it's pretty solid. All right, so we ended there. So I'm just going to shoot a conclusion here. And we'll get going there. Let me answer a few more questions. Bob Schindorf says they come to his house by appointment. That's a good deal for getting your shot there. I would do that. I mean, I get my groceries delivered. Why not do it the other way? Greg M wants to know, have ever gotten tested for vitamin D levels? I have not, but I do take a vitamin D supplement. I've been taking them for years. I don't know if it's done anything for me, but I take it because why not? It's harmless. I don't take a lot of it. Just take one in the morning and one at night. Martin Polini is here. Hello. Some discussion over the strap versus the battery. Ryan Plumley says there is a market for headset back custom counterweights. Interesting. Ed says comfort 1 to 10. I would say it's more comfortable. I did not have bad comfort before, but it is more comfortable now, is what it comes down to. And you know what? Let me see if I can get my daughter down here real quick, because I want to see if it goes on her head better. Let me just have my wife send her down real quick. She just got back from school. That's the one thing I've been grateful for. We've been able to keep the school open. Oh my goodness. It was tough last year. All right, so she's coming back down in a second. Oh, so there is a version with an integrated battery. I did not know that. I would imagine that would add a lot of weight, though, wouldn't it? Let's see if I can find it on their website here. Oh, so lead strap with battery. Well, now I got another one I got to get. Or is the battery in, oh, the battery's in the back of it. So here, let me show you. Here, I'll pull this up on the screen so you can see what it looks like real quick. All right. NDI. Yeah, I tried to get those T-cell people on for an interview, but they didn't want to. They weren't doing interviews. Everyone that has like legal or FDA stuff to do, like they get all nervous about talking to you. So this is the one with the battery. So I guess that's kind of neat. They integrated it into the back. That's cool. Should I get this one now too? Oh, you get a strap and a carrying case with it. So this is the same strap, but it's got a battery built into the back of it. All right, cool. Here comes my daughter. Come here real quick. I want to try this thing on your head. You don't have to be on camera if you don't want to be. I will tell you what her rating is. All right, let me put this on real quick. This is to make the VR work better, okay? You want to say hello to my friends or no? No? Okay. So let me put this on your head real quick. Is Ellie singing out there? Mm-hmm. All right, put your ponytail through here real quick. All right. Can you see? Can you see it? How's that feel? Does that feel better than it did before? Well, that fits much better on your head, doesn't it? Does that feel better? Okay, cool. That's what I wanted to know. You're all set. Thank you. Oh, yeah, here's your glasses. I'll be back up in a little bit. All right? You can close the door for me? Thank you. All right. Oh. So she was camera shy, but the review is that she thought it worked better. So there you go. Okay. Yeah, hold still. What's funny is when we were using the other strap here for my daughter, it was really hard to keep the headset adjusted properly. Like it kept flopping around, like it would shift a lot with this strap. So this works a lot better. And I'll know for sure when we put her back in tilt brush and see how it works, but we'll see here. Looks like Christopher Fitzgerald is sold on it. Yeah, I think this works much better. I should have bought this from the beginning because it is a lot easier to get it on. And I understand probably why they didn't include it, because it does add cost, and I think they were trying to hit a price point, but it is good. So Ryan Plumley's kids do Job Simulator and Vacation and Jobs. Yeah, Job Simulator I like a lot. Vacation Simulator we're still trying to figure out. The cool thing with Vacation Simulator is that it does let you use your hands without the controller. And I think that's another magical thing of these Oculus Quest headsets. And Daniel says, man, I thought I was seeing things for sex. So there is a battery pack version. Yeah, there is. Yep. I was surprised by that. I didn't know that. I did not know that existed. Here, I'll show it to you again here. I bet you that it's going to be more expensive. It's not available at the moment. So it's 321 grams. So what is that in imperial? So 321 grams to ounces. So that is, whoa, it's 11 ounces on top of what the headset weighs. Because I'm imagining, yeah, so it's, wow, that's a lot. So it's 11.3 ounces. So let me weigh the whole package right now. I'll be right back. So I have my scale over there. Because I think this is going to add a little bit of weight without the battery. So let me take a look at the scale here. So just with the strap I just put on, it is, okay, so this weighs now 1 pound, 6.3 ounces. So we need to talk about that in this little review here. 1 pound, 6.3 ounces. That's the headset and strap together. Ounces. So that would be, so 1 pound, 6.3 ounces in grams. So right now, this is 632 grams all in. And I think, let's see, Oculus Quest 2 weights. So with the other strap, it is 1.1 pounds. So this adds about 5 ounces. Right, because it's 1.1 versus 1.6. So it adds about 5 ounces. But it's distributed. So I guess if you're putting weight on, it's probably better to put the weight on the back anyhow, because all the weight is on the front with the normal thing. So that's the difference there. So it is adding some weight, but it's distributed across the back. So I don't know if adding more weight to the back is that big of a deal, right? Because it's going to counterweight. If anything, it's balancing it out better. I mean, the strain on your neck would probably be, right? Because that's your head is supported by your neck. So that might add a little bit there. I'll let the, yeah, and then, so if we look at the weight of, so 321 grams, this is for the, now 321 grams for the other one. So 321 plus 503. So 321 plus 503. So that's going to be 824 grams with the battery. And so you'd be wearing 1.8 pounds on your head, as I think somebody... Nerd with Tech, actually this is a good question about the bun on the head, because I had a little bit of a hard time with my daughter's ponytail, which was like right about here. So I think with the bun you should be okay, because you have this strap and you've got all that room to adjust it. But I think unless your bun's going to compress down well, you might get a little movement there. So that's something to think about. Ryan Plumley has not seen the hand support. Let me see if I can find my Chromecast real quick, because I might be able to show you how that works. So let's plug this in. I can show you the hand support. All right, so get that going. I got this, this splitter thing, and I'm going to grab this HDMI cable. Where's that one going? Let's see. Pull this HDMI cable in here, and we'll plug that in to the output. There we go. And then we just need a USB cable to power the Chromecast. And then we'll get going here. Let's take a look here. All right. Here's a USB cable. Plug that into this thing. And we'll power up the Chromecast. It's going to take a second for it to come online real quick here. Then I can kind of show you how that works. So add input, NDI. I was going to connect up my Spark box here. I'm going to power that thing on. And I'll show you how it works. And I do have to record the outro for this video real quick. So let me do that. And then I'll show you how the hand thing works. Yeah, I got some good questions here too. I don't know what the milliamp hours is of the battery. My guess is that you're going to get another 2 hours out of it. And On Air has a good point, because this is exactly my point, which is, he's never had a play session last longer than 2 hours. I can't go that long. My eyes are like, and granted, my eyes are, I got to go to the eye. I have to go to a lot of doctors, okay? There's nothing wrong with me. I'm perfectly healthy, but I have to go to, I haven't had a physical in who knows how long. I haven't done the dentist because of all this COVID stuff, so I got to get that done. And then I got to go to the eye doctor because I'm like, my eyesight is going. I can see fine, it's just things get blurrier now. So I don't know if having glasses would help the situation, but I think the eye strain on the VR, I've been using VR for 4 years. I can't go 2 hours. I go maybe an hour and a half tops before I got to take a break. So I have never killed the battery on a single play session on one of these things. My kid's the same way. It's definitely, and partly because I think your eyes are focusing closer, I think. So that's, Mark Connors noticed that his cracked, so this will be something I'll keep an eye on over the long haul here. So we'll keep an eye on that. Gorman says that it apparently doubles the battery life. Okay. Well, you know, I'll tell you what, the biggest issue I run into with battery life is forgetting to charge it. That's been the biggest thing that I've encountered. And the other thing that I've encountered, let's see if the NDI here is ready. Here it is. The other thing that I've encountered with this, and it looks like the Chromecast is not yet broadcasting itself. Bear with me, folks. Let me just get this thing figured out here. The other thing that I've encountered is that the PC, when you have it hooked up to the PC, it does drain the battery. And I guess it depends on the cable that you're using, but I did get the official cable just to try it out, and it is definitely draining the battery when you're in PC mode. There we go. Okay. So, oh, it just went off again. Hang on a second. I think my splitter is starting to go here. Okay, so now, if I jump in here. Now, I have my controllers. I just don't have them handy at the moment. You know, let me show you how this is going to go on my head real quick. So I'm going to, it doesn't move all that freely on there, but actually, you know what, I'm going to, so we're going to tighten it up there first, and then I'm going to put the top strap down. Yeah, that feels good. Okay, so now I'm going to go over to my sharing menu, wherever that is. Now, I'm using my hands here to control it, so I can see my hands out in front. I have to hold them a little bit closer because the desk is in the way here. So, and I'll show you this on the screen once I get it up. So let's go, oops, go to sharing, oops. And then I'm going to go to cast, and we'll go to, I got to scroll this down a bit here. I think it is Oculus app, computer. I think it's this one. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now let me show you. I think you can see let me see my hands in this. Let me just cut to the, yeah, right. You can see the hand. Yep. Isn't that cool? And so you can basically, isn't this neat? Now, not every game supports this yet, but a lot of them are starting to now. So you have the ability, and it's really, look at this, you have like really fine controls over, then I can do this and pull up the Oculus menu and click off like that. And then if you want to scroll, let me see if I can find a scrolling thing here. So you just grab your hand and do that. Isn't that cool? It feels very natural, and it's amazing. So you know, you don't always need the controllers to do all that. It's really, really neat. Okay. So it's like totally like out of one of those sci-fi movies. Asger wants to know, how am I doing at the moment? You tell me. I am doing a stream for you. I am just fine. So hopefully you are too. Aaron Johnson wants to know about Paramount Plus. See, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that. I love the Picard show. A lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was nice. You know, part of what it is that I like things to be different. Like I love Star Trek The Next Generation. It's like comfort food to me. But I wouldn't want that to just be redone. You know, I would like to see something new, which is what I like about Picard. I like the journey they took him through there. And Discovery, I like Discovery. I think the last season was pretty good too. You know, I like my stuff to be different, and that's why I've been liking what they've been doing there. I'm really looking forward to the Captain Pike show that they're going to do. So I would be more into Paramount Plus if there was more Star Trek on it, right? Because I just can't, like, there's nothing else I really want to watch on it except that. So it's kind of hard to do the subscription. Although I think they've got a free tier, so I got to look into how that works out. I did buy the Picard Blu-ray because my wife hasn't seen it yet, so I have it I own it now, so I can watch it whenever without having to maintain a subscription. Oh, I should look into this. There's a charging dock for the Quest 2 and its controllers. That's a cool idea. That is neat. Anchor, let's see, let's look that up. Anchor Oculus charging dock. Let's take a look at that. Ooh, that's pretty neat. It's a little expensive, but it's, here, I'll pull this up on the screen for you all. This is what it looks like. And look, here's our stream. It's like right now on, so that's kind of nice. See, it charges although does it come with batteries for the controllers? It does. Oh, okay, so you get rechargeable batteries for the controllers, and you just put everything in there and it charges it all. That's cool. That's a neat idea. So I found the controllers do not, they don't die that much. So usually my headset is where the batteries are dying pretty frequently. Yeah, that's a good point also on virtual desktop, right? So I can see that being an issue there. I'll put a few of these up here as well. Handquake, the floor, when I lay back in the bed, I can't change the floor slope. That's a very true issue. The only thing I could think of is maybe you set a static, I'm not sure how to solve that problem. Maybe some other folks have some issues with, have some ideas about that. Hey, Eric Bowen is here. Deep Space Nine, yes. You know what's funny? Deep Space Nine was right when I was in college, and I didn't always get a chance to watch it. This is before streaming when I was in college. And so it was one of the first, Deep Space Nine was ahead of its time in a lot of ways because they had an episodic component to it. And they were kind of battling the one-off episodes versus the episodic. But somebody put up a list of the entire Dominion storyline, and I spent months going through each of those episodes. So I'm really glad I did. So I watched that, and I still have more episodes of Deep Space Nine that I haven't seen before. It was good stuff. David Tuttle likes Picard too. Yeah, I really like Picard. I thought it was really well done. I don't want to give it away, but I liked how they. Here's what I liked. I've talked about this before. I think what made Picard work was that they have a new cast, right? He's the lead. So instead, and I think that's what Star Wars did wrong, is they brought in all these new people and had the old cast as the supporting actors and actresses. I didn't like that. I think having the lead be the legacy character, it creates more opportunity, because they could at some point in the future, maybe Sir Patrick's done with it at some point, and those characters I think will develop, and they could send them off on their own show, right? So there you go. Crazy 1K wants a shout out. There you go. You don't have to donate, not necessary. I don't like to sing. Here, I'll pull up your thing here. I don't like to sing for my supper, but I'll give you the shout out. You know, I need to look into this question from Christopher a little bit more because I think they've made a lot of improvements to the Xbox Blu-ray player, and I haven't done much with that topic. And I need to explore it a bit more because I do have the Series X. Some of you watched my live stream that we did recently on that. Excuse me, let's unplug the things here. I think it's gotten a lot better. So if you have one of those things, you may not need that. What I will do is I'll check with, I'll run it with my so I have the Star Wars. It's funny how the Star Wars movies worked out the way they did. Star Wars The Last Jedi, Atmos, Dolby Vision. It's like everything you can check off on the box, it's got it. The new movie doesn't have Dolby Vision. So that's the disc I kind of use as my test. So I will try it out and see how it looks. Ryan likes the direction Discovery. Yeah, I think they were trying to find, like, where do we slot in Discovery, right? And I think what they did was really the right way to go. Because that last season was, I mean, I've enjoyed all of the seasons, but I kept thinking, like, how does this slot in with the rest of the story? But where they sent the show, I think, is great because now you can just let it run. So that is, I think that's the way to go. And it would be great to see an upscale Deep Space Nine because they did upscale the painstaking way. The original Next Generation episodes, all 7 seasons, have been. They're still 4:3, the box 4:3, but they're all 1080p. So they look a lot better. And I guess they had to redo all the effects shots. I think that's the big problem is that the effect shots on Deep Space Nine were done digitally at standard definition, and I think the cost involved in redoing all of them for 1080 and up, or 4K if you're going to do that, I think was the issue. So that's probably going to have some bearing on things. Gorman says the Xbox doesn't support Dolby Vision. I'm pretty sure, doesn't it? It does Dolby Vision in other things now. I got to check that out. Master Billy is here. Hello, how are you? Some discussion of DS9 and Babylon 5. I never got into Babylon 5, but I would like to check it out. And I guess it's remastered. Oh, Babylon 5 is remastered on HBO. So I will check that out and see what's going on there. And it doesn't look like Mark Dell is here to help me moderate today, so I'm going to have to do some moderation here. Let's go to some other comments here. So Prime wants to know, here's the one thing that I would say on Quest 3 if it ever comes out. I'm sure there will be one at some point. What I would like on Quest 3 is a direct video input versus the USB thing it's doing now. I mean, for me, I don't really notice the difference, but a lot of folks out there say that there's a difference and there might be a minuscule additional lag involved in the video distribution over USB. So I think that would be, I would love to have a direct video input. Rainier wants to know if I heard about Quest 2 getting 120 Hertz support. I have not heard that. But I haven't been following it all that closely, so I need to look at that and see. Master Billy liked Season 1, wasn't too much into Season 2. Season 3 was pretty good. What did they do in Season 2? I'm trying to remember now, like what, how many seasons have they had? Is it 4 seasons now, or was it 3? I can't remember. Season 2 was... I'm just looking through here to see exactly what it was here. Okay, right. I kind of liked season 2 towards the end of it. I did enjoy it, but the last season was really good. I thought because it's all a whole new thing. Oh, Gorman says it doesn't support Dolby. Okay, that's a deal breaker. Well, that's your difference right there. If it doesn't support Dolby Vision on that, that's right. The Red Angel was the. Yeah, and I guess they could probably get away with 120 hertz because this doesn't have the OLED display. It's got the LCD, so I'm guessing there's probably some more flexibility on refresh rate. But that'll be neat to see. The problem with 120 hertz, just as the problem with 90 hertz is on the Quest, is that you need a lot of processing power to get there, right? And they, I'm surprised. I got a 2080. Now, granted, this is now old, but I have a 2080 Ti in my gaming desktop upstairs, and some games it really struggles to get to 90, right? So that's that. That's a good question. What got me into sci-fi? It was definitely a movie, and what it was my cousin, who's a little bit older than me, was really into Star Wars. And so when I was a little kid, I got introduced to the Star Wars toys through him. And I played with the toys before I even watched the movies. But I think that's what got me into it. And I've always just had an interest in technology and space. And my father was an electrical, he's alive. I'm saying was because he used to be an electrical engineer. And my father worked on the Apollo project. He was an electrical engineer who worked on batteries. And so my father helped design the life support battery for the moonwalkers. So he was involved in that whole thing. So I got to hear stories about how he helped work on the moon landing. He did defense work also, but that was one of their things was developing the battery for the life support system, which was pretty cool. And I met somebody who was the person that suited up the astronauts, and it was kind of neat to talk about his experiences with the battery that my father helped design. It was kind of neat. I guess Dolby Vision is not there on the Xbox. Yeah, so I got that Panasonic player, and that Panasonic player upscales the regular Blu-ray, the DVDs really, really nicely. So, and I'm actually eager to see what Sony does with the PSVR 2, because now they've got some good hardware, right? So I think that's gonna help. All right, so I am going to do one thing. I'm going to finish up this video. I love that click. All right, so I'm going to finish this up here because I had it there. Okay. 3, 2, 1. So overall, I must say I'm very pleased with the strap here. It actually is a lot more comfortable than the other strap. It's easier to get a good fit. And one thing that I've noticed just playing with this for a little while is that the image is clearer to me because the headset is able to stay positioned better on my head. So in addition to comfort, it actually looks better, and that's really good. I did try it on with my 7-year-old daughter in between takes here, and it fit her much better as well. So I think if you're having fit problems, this is probably something worth picking up. And I'm surprised that I didn't pick this up sooner because this is going to make using the headset a lot less aggravating. It's a lot simpler to get this on the head than it was before. So I am quite pleased here with the Elite strap, and I am looking forward to playing around a little bit more with it. It looks like they've got a new version of this that has a battery on the back that would give you additional playtime. For me, because my eyes are what they are, I usually can't get to 2 hours on this thing, which is the typical battery life for the internal battery. But if you're someone that likes to go for long periods of time, that version of the strap might be worth taking a look at. I think the total weight with the battery is going to be about 1.8 pounds or so. So it will add some weight to the package, but it is evenly distributed. You'll have a bunch of weight on the back and a bunch of weight on the front. So it may not be all that uncomfortable and will give you additional battery life there. But for me, I'm pretty happy with the basic model here, and I think it'll improve my experience here with the Oculus Quest 2. That's going to do it for now. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching. All right. Oops. So that was good. Let me just log that clip. Yeah, this will probably go on the extras channel. We'll see how it looks. It's often difficult to figure out where I want to put stuff. You know, this is going to go on Amazon, which was my primary objective for this video. So it's oftentimes like, where does this best fit on the YouTube side? And I found that it probably would work in both places, to be honest. But we'll see how it goes once I put the editing together. Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm not going just yet, Bob, so you can stick around. Bob wants to know what's going to be the subject of the weekly wrap-up this week. Well, this week we're going to talk about Locast. So we're going to look at the lawsuit and all that's going into that. That should be a fun one. Yeah, it was kind of a toss-up. I was waiting for my my T-cell test to come back. If it was positive, it would have been a much more interesting topic. But I think I'm going to talk about the T-cell testing next week because that is an interesting technology. But this week it's going to be about Locast. Ryan's father worked as a refrigeration tech in the early 80s at NASA. Yeah, refrigeration is really important. So Eric's first movie that he went to was Empire Strikes Back. Awesome. That's right, he's a projectionist now. That's right, Eric. He saw the original Star Wars on Laserdisc after that. Yeah, because Laserdisc came out in the early 80s. That's right. Yeah, I had the VHS. So my father's friend owned a video store in Brooklyn, New York. And he sold us a VCR, and then we bought I still have it somewhere, the rental version of Star Wars. And back then, you couldn't buy the movies right away. And the movies were, like, expensive. I mean, super expensive, like $75, $80 in $1980, not in $20. Ken Holmes said they fixed the, somebody else had mentioned that also. I have not yet owned it long enough to know. I'm assuming they did, and if they didn't, I will definitely let you know, because I think I'm going to be using this a lot more. Yeah, there's that issue with Facebook here with these things. I think HTC is coming out with their own standalone headset, so we'll see how that goes. I just don't know if there's enough of a market to support multiple platforms. That's the problem with this stuff. You know, the VR industry it just doesn't have the kind of broad consumer interests that the regular gaming community has, right? So, so that's a consideration. Let's take a few more questions. I gotta go edit the wrap up next. Never done working here. Yeah, so Ryan makes a good point here that 120 hertz typically with those chips is for scrolling Twitter, not doing. Yeah, it's hard to drive VR. And what you'll find with the Quest 2 is that the 90 hertz games don't look as good because they have to reduce the detail on the games to hit that frame rate. And a good example would be Space Pirate Trainer. Because I will say on the lower frame rate, the Space Pirate Trainer looks pretty close to the PC version, but when you turn the 90 hertz on, it has to reduce some of the graphical fidelity to hit the frame rate. So that's a factor. Back to Locast. Yeah, I talk a little bit about the VPN stuff. I think that's going to be, and they're getting sued right now, and I think the big issue that Locast is, these rubber bands all over the place. The big issue that Locast is dealing with is the fact that it's so easy to circumvent the location thing. I think that's their legal liability. They're gonna have to get really tough on that in order to survive, I think. So you might see more of that. This is funny. I'm telling you, I think there's something about these algorithms that just know like when something like this is going to happen, because he just got his in the other day. Isn't that crazy? So we'll see where it goes there. I'm missing, by the way, I don't see every chat. So I know Brian's saying I didn't see his chats. I didn't see anything of yours before just now. So I'm sorry if I didn't read your comment. I just didn't see it. So if you want, repost it, because I am not seeing that in my chat window here. And sometimes things come really quickly. Marcin says, I keep missing your subscription because I get no notification with YouTube. Do you know a way to fix this? You know, if you're having YouTube notification issues and you're trying to hit these live streams, I would follow me on Amazon because their notifications work better. And I usually broadcast to both places. And yes, I've been getting a couple of comments about this. I did pull the Lowcast to Plex just for one simple reason, which is that Plex did not want that to be a sponsored video. So one of the things I'm going to do after I just wrap up the stream is reshoot the intro and repost it. So that one will be up later in the week again. Lowcast is very radioactive at the moment. And my deal with Plex is, and this is a great arrangement, it's that they never review, they don't ask me to cover anything, they don't review anything before I upload it, they just have me do these sponsored videos every month. And I've been doing them for probably about 3 or 4 years now. And this was the only one that they were not comfortable sponsoring because it's involving an unofficial thing. I mean, it's not adjusting or hacking Plex itself, but it's operating outside their comfort zone. So it is going back up. Just without their sponsorship on there. So that's why I had to take it down. I just haven't had a chance to reshoot the intro. But that will be back very, very shortly. So yeah, you did not go crazy about that. I got a couple people writing in. I knew that was going to happen because it was up for about a day and a half. And like I said, like it is the best sponsorship ever because like this is exactly the kind of sponsorship I want. They're like, hey, just do whatever. Talk about us once a month. You can do whatever you want. And like I said, I've done a lot of sponsored videos with them. And so I don't blame them. I mean, Lowcast is a very touchy subject amongst the TV community. And I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, oh, this is a cool way to get more use out of Plex. So that was why I did it. But we'll be okay there. TubU01, hello, how are you? Good to see you. All right, let's see what else is going here. And Ed Brewer got a Plex Pass. Hopefully you're enjoying it. There's a lot of depth to that. And what's funny is there's a lot of people that signed up for Plex Passes to get that Lowcast integration to work. The other thing that works with Lowcast is the Channels app. And so I'll probably do something with that a little bit later too. Because that's good stuff. All right. All right, well, I'm going to get my button gear here to do some editing. So we got to get the wrap up. I'm going to get this thing put together. And yeah, that's going to be, I think, it for now. So we've been going for about an hour and 18 minutes or so. So I'll be back. I got more stuff to do live streaming about. What else do I have to do? I got a QNAP network attached storage device that works over 2.5 gigabit Ethernet. So we'll probably do something with that. And yeah, we'll have some fun stuff coming up this week. So just set your notifications. And if you don't get notified, hit the link in the description, and that'll take you over to my Amazon page, and you can follow me there. So I can tell you, Amazon, whenever I go live, I get the notification. I don't get the notification on my own YouTube thing, but I get it on Amazon. So definitely do that and do the follow. And all of the videos that I put up on YouTube usually go on Amazon. If the product is sold on Amazon, I put the video up there too. So definitely check it out. Hey, Mark Dell is here. I was just saying, like, where's my favorite moderator? But I think Greg M, I think, is also a moderator, so he took care of some stuff for us. So yeah, you just missed the whole thing, but that's okay because we did a video during the course of this, so we've got some stuff put together. All right. Okay, well, I'm going to go take the dog out, and then I'm going to edit, and then I am going to have some dinner, and then I got a fun call tonight. So I'm doing a Zoom call with some students at my alma mater, the student news program. They're having a meeting with their engineering department to talk about what they're using there. I'm just curious to see what they're using, because back when I was in college, this was back in 97, so I was involved with them like 96 through 98. And we were shooting the news packages on Super VHS, SVHS. And then the show, because it was Fridays at 4 was the live show that we did. I was the weatherman. And so the show we did in the campus TV studio, and I think, I'm trying to remember what we recorded on. It wasn't 3/4. I think we might have recorded on SVHS just for consistency with the studio cameras. But my senior year, they got a Media 100, which was a nonlinear Mac-based editing thing, and it had this array. It was like 7 or 8 SCSI hard drives. Eric there, STN2. Eric was, by the way, Eric Bowen in the chat was one of our STN2. He would do it with me. I forgot, Eric. Were you the? I don't think you were the stage manager. What was your? You were a jack of all trades, if I recall. But channel 2, and Eric, I don't know if are you on the Facebook group for STN2, because you might want to jump in on that call. They're having an engineering call tonight. Yeah, I once walked in with a blue tie on a blue screen. That's right, we didn't have a green screen chroma key. It was blue, wasn't it? I have some pictures somewhere of that. I'll see if I can find them real quick. Let's see if I can find those real quick. I have to go way back in years here. I think I actually have them labeled. So I have a video. Yeah, here is. This was my, so I have my own intro. And I don't have the, there I am, see, weather. That desk was where we did the Media 100. So this was like a snowstorm that we had, and you can see it's interlaced video. This was a snowstorm that we had. It was April 1st, 1997. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was 97. And so we called, we decided, this is all like last minute, we decided to put me outside and just cover this snowstorm. And so I found a rain jacket, and then we figured we could get free pizza if we called the pizza guys and said, hey, we'll give you a sponsorship. Like we'll interview the pizza guy and tell everybody that you're still delivering. So we got free pizzas. So we didn't have to pay for those pizzas. I gave him a tip though. And that was that. I think I probably got, there were some pictures that I have somewhere, just not on my Google, on my photo thing here. But that was a lot of fun. So we've been doing this for a while. Yeah, and the studio cameras we had at the time were, I think those were like cathode ray, like they were tube cameras, and you couldn't point them at the lights because you'd burn them out. They're really expensive. They were really expensive. And Greg had the flood of the century at that point. Yeah, it was neat. I have some other stuff. So we also covered the 1996 presidential debate when it came to Hartford. That was an amazing experience. That was really cool. And they sent me because I knew who everybody was. So that was kind of neat. Yeah, so this was and nobody was allowed to touch the Media 100. So, Eric will remember, Rob, my roommate, Oh, Eric was the studio camera. Okay, that's right. You were doing the cameras. So Eric would do the studio cameras, and sometimes he said he had to do all three at once. This was before the robotic cameras. I don't know if they have robotic cameras there or not, but now everyone uses those. He has to sometimes had to do all three at once. And you know what I got to find? Oh, I probably have this. And Eric went and did Times Square. I think I've got this on my. Hang on, let me see if I can find this real quick, and then I gotta go because I gotta get this video done. Let me go into my archives here real quick because I still have, and I'm so glad I did this because right before Eric will remember Brad Cheney. So Brad invited me up right before he graduated, and I dumped all of the footage that I did when I was there onto DV tape. So I had an archive of it, and I'm just looking for. Let's see, Channel 2. So I have the Winter Storm, because we also had the Big Show. And I don't know if Eric, if you remember the Big Show with Keith, but so we were always doing news, and then we decided instead, like right before Christmas, that we would do. And I know I have this somewhere on in my repertoire here. We decided that we would do like a late night show. And I was Santa Claus. It actually kind of came out pretty neat. So that was kind of fun. Mark Dell says the Big Show was there. I don't know if it was anywhere else, but it was there. Pravda wants to know, what did I graduate with? So I got a communications degree. It was a BA in communications. I was probably 1 or 2 classes short of a minor in political science. I just never got there. And then so within the communication school, they had different areas so it wasn't, I don't think it was on your degree, but they had like different areas of focus. And so I focused on organizational communication and public relations. So internal and external communications, basically. And I really liked it because what I really liked about the major, so initially I was in the political science direction, and I got frustrated because there was no creativity or analysis in the political science stuff. You were basically, the only creativity, and I remember thinking about this because it was a very big life-changing decision, right? The only thing that bugged me about political science was the fact that the only thing that was mine in the papers that I was writing was the thesis sentence. And then you had to go out and find all this other research to back up whatever point you were trying to make. And that really bugged me. Like I just couldn't, there wasn't enough of me in that. And it wasn't like some narcissistic thing. It just didn't feel creative enough for me. I wanted to do more analysis. I wanted to do more creativity. So I started taking communication classes. Oh, I got to go upstairs because my daughter is going to swim lessons. I got to watch the other kid. So there was not enough creativity in the major. So I started doing the communication classes, and I loved it because it was some of the classes, especially the organizational communication stuff, had a bit of business to it. So there was analysis. It was all case study. It was all analysis. It was like, what did they do, and was it the right thing to do? Right? Looking at it in hindsight, kind of stuff. So I really enjoyed that. I would love to have a late night show. The problem, I think, with all of this is that it's hard to build an audience now, especially for longer form content. You know who had a great show? Tom Green had an awesome, this is like back in 2007-ish. He had an awesome show at his house. Like he's like doing what I did. He had a TriCaster, he had all this crazy stuff, and he would have celebrities come to his house, and he'd just do this live thing. They'd have people calling in. He's just, I really loved that show. That was a really fun exercise. I think it just got to be too much and too expensive. He couldn't figure out a way to monetize it. He talked about it recently on Joe Rogan's show. It was really fun to hear him talk about it. So yeah, I mean, I guess I could do it. I think it's a matter of, and the problem is also like late night. What is late night anymore in an international world, right? So it's hard to see what works. Yeah, he does the van life now. That's I got to start listening to some of those episodes too. I'm watching some of those. But yeah, I think it would be kind of fun. You know, I really like, here's the other problem. Back to Mark Dell's point. I do not get, and this is what kills me because I love doing them. Whenever I have an interview, it just doesn't do very well for whatever reason. And it kills me because I've got, like, vMix is really well suited for interviews. It is so easy to bring guests on with the vMix call. I just can't get people to watch it. So I've been trying to build up the podcast a little bit to try to get more of that, because I really love bringing on people with things to talk about. Like we had the guy that did the Mars, he runs the Mars Relay Network. Maybe there's not enough interest in that to build a huge audience. I think it's fascinating. So we'll have to see. You know, a live interview might work better. We'd have to experiment with it. And I think it's a matter of finding the right time, and part of this is my own doing because the audience for this show is so fragmented between different topics. So I'm pretty confident that tonight's wrap-up will do really well, but it's going to do well amongst the people that are into cord cutting, which is a big chunk of my audience, but not everybody. You know what I mean? So I could do one about mini PCs and I could do one about cord cutting, but it'll be different people watching it. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, so that's what Joe Rogan did. I think he's off YouTube now because of the Spotify deal, which I think, by the way, is a big mistake for him. Maybe he's got all the audience he needs. Because like now that he's not showing up in my podcast thing, I don't listen to Rogan as much because he's not there, right? There's all these other stuff I can listen to. But I might do that because Lex Friedman, I listened to his podcast. He has some really interesting guests on. He does clips on one channel and then the full interview on another. So I might do that. What's been really neat about these podcasts on YouTube is that YouTube is a great discovery engine. And Spotify needs to be careful about this because I think YouTube has the best podcast discovery engine out there. The odd thing is that once I find it on YouTube, I immediately subscribe on the podcast thing and stop listening to it on the YouTube side, right? So I feel like YouTube needs to capitalize on the podcast audience or the podcast creators that they have and think of a different way, maybe a separate app or something that can algorithmically help with discovery, because there is no better discovery engine than YouTube at the moment for independent content, without question. David Bound, you know, I wonder how that might work. You know, some kind of call-in show, just like dial up and call in, right? And that's the one shortfall of vMix. I got to write to the guys about this at vMix. I think they might be able to fix this. If I were to send out the vMix link, if somebody else tries to come in, they knock the person that's on off. There's no like busy signal. What they need is like a trunking thing. So we'll have to figure this out. Yeah, this is the interesting point here, Mark Dell, that different topics bring in different viewers. And I think my mistake is that I put everything in one channel. And I don't think that's how YouTube's algorithm works. I think it's very topic driven. So people subscribe and then, you know, it's tough. It's tough. All right, let me run here, folks. I got to get a phone call returned. I've got stuff to edit. I've got a child to watch. There's a lot going on right now. So I'm going to head out. First of all, I want to say goodbye to the Amazon folks. Thank you for tuning in. And I will also bid adieu to all of you who are watching on YouTube. We'll be back. We'll do some more. Maybe we'll figure out, Mark Dell, anyone else, why don't you all email me with some ideas for like a call-in show, and let's play with that idea. Maybe we do something live at a certain time, maybe once a month or something, and maybe figure it out. Because I don't want it to be about me. I'd rather bring on guests and have like some interesting discussions and stuff. So let me know what you think. All right, I got to run. I got calls to return and stuff to do. It's always fun catching up with all of you, and I'll be back. Just set those notifications, and you'll be surprised how often I pop up. Okay, bye everybody.